Okay, I'm back. Wow, that was so boring. Hi guys, I'm back. This is Michelle Njua, and this is my YouTube channel that I decided to start to document my junior year, but I was really busy, so we're gonna be documenting my senior year. But we're gonna go through everything. That's basically what this channel is about, and I hope you guys are like interested in doing this because do you really want to do this? Like, do you really want to? Do you actually want to do this? Anyway, in this video today, I'm going to be going over, because you know it's summer break, right? So when summer break started, I did an internship, my very first internship. It was kind of hard to get, and I'll get into that a little more later, but I finally managed to do it, and it was 6 days long. It was supposed to be 2 weeks long, but like I said, it was hard to get. So it was 6 days long, and I just wanted to talk about like the pros and cons of it, and like my experience on each day, what I did, what I wish I had done more, and you know, just the general stuff. So let me pull up that document. And yeah, basically just everything about my internship, pros and cons, what I wish I had done, what I wish they had done. Not that they have to do it, just preferences, you know. And how maybe this might help me for future university stuff. I don't know if you guys can take advice from this. Maybe you could, maybe not. I don't know. I've never really seen or like willingly searched up a video about other people's internships, but I know they're out there, and I feel like they could be somewhat helpful, especially if you're like because I'm a rising senior. I just finished junior year, so I'm going senior. But I think this type of video would be really important for 10th graders, maybe. Yeah, rising 10th graders, rising juniors, rising seniors as well. But by the time you hit senior year, I feel like it's too late to keep going. I feel like it's a little bit late to, you know, trying to do an internship in December, because I mean most applications are sent in during November, especially early action. But if you're doing early decision or whatever, you're good. You can do your internships or whatever. I'm not really sure how much of this works. I'm the first generation in my entire family to ever go through the American curriculum of a school, whereas everyone, including everyone, my dad's side, my cousins, everyone is in British system. So this is really new to me about internships and like college board, AP classes, GPA stuff. Yeah. And I literally moved into the American curriculum in 5th grade, so I have been through British before, but I think my parents decided that they wanted to put me through something new, and this was that. So yeah, let's get right into the internship portion. So I've actually what is it called? Coined this again. Not really coined. I just called it the internship diaries. Nothing's gonna appear there. I don't have that kind of editing skills, so just accept it. Anyways, it's called the internship diaries, and I put it all on my laptop here, my talking points, and I actually documented as much as I possibly could about my internship through writing on my notes app, because you know a girl's notes app is literally that's a girl's notes app. Anyway, yeah, so I did that. I documented everything in my notes app, mainly during my internship, just because there was not really much to do, and I've come to realize that's actually really normal. So if you're not really doing much at your internship, or they're not giving you anything to do, that's normal. That's normal. But it's kind of frustrating, I have to admit. But let's get right into it. So I was on my internship for 6 days. 6 days. I was on my internship for 6 days, and I was working, or just like shadowing, I guess, at the Columbia Africa Hospital in Lavington. And my first day and my first and second day, I did dental. So we were basically I was going through rotations. There was no other intern there. I was going through rotations in different departments of the hospital. So my first stop was dentistry. And, based on my notes here, I sat and observed for like 4 hours straight because my work day was from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that changed sometimes. I would come in at 10 a.m. and leave at around 3. Sometimes they didn't have much for me to do, so I'd start at 10, leave at 1, start at 9, leave at 12. It was a bit up and down. I feel like this hospital hasn't really like done this before, but they did tell me that a girl from Braeburn was there the week before me. But they didn't really specify much about what she did. They just said that she was there for a week, and it kind of seemed like they wanted me there for a week. So we did have to shorten my internship. That was a bit weird, but we figured it out in the end. So I was up early in the dawns at like 7:30 a.m. in the morning because I was so stressed. Like I was literally panicking. I was scared. I had to get scrubs quickly. Like the day before my internship, I got scrubs because they wanted me to wear blue and black scrubs, only scrubs. They didn't want me to like come in my own outfit or anything. Scrubs. So I wore scrubs. Went to the dental unit. I was there, observed for like 4 hours straight, but I wasn't really like spoken to or taught anything. I could have definitely spoke up and asked questions, but they were really busy. Like there was so many people in the like dental unit. Like there's so many people who go to that small clinic just for the dentistry stuff, like just to get their checkup, just to get their package and whatever and all that stuff. And I love dentistry. Like you guys don't get it. I wanted to become a dentist until, some things just didn't work out and I'm becoming a bioinformatician instead. And I'm gonna go through why I chose that in a different video maybe, if you want it. But yeah, so that was day 1. No communication, didn't speak with any of the doctors. They saw me, we said hi. The nurse was the only person who spoke to me, the dental nurse. She was really nice. Like she tried to make some jokes with me, but obviously there is still a ton of work to be done. Like there was 3 different nurses in there, only one of them spoke to me. I didn't really need to ask many questions just because sometimes when I hyperfixate on something that I really want to do in the future, I kind of do a ton of research on my own. So even before I knew I could do an internship, I was researching stuff about dentistry. I wanted to become a dentist so bad, and I still like have that like piece of dentistry in my soul. I don't know what is wrong with me, man, but like I just like, bro, dentistry, it had me in a chokehold until I realized how expensive dental school is, and like I had a discussion with my parents and it just wasn't like the right way to go. I'm going off topic, but yeah, that was day 1. Day 2, even less communication. I said hi to the nurse who was speaking to me the other day. She made a little joke. It was fun. I observed. I watched people get root canals. Was it root canals? Root canals. I watched the patient to doctor interactions. I found those really interesting because I've never actually experienced someone being like rude to a doctor before, because like my family is not like that. Sometimes my dad is, but like my family is not like that, so I'm not used to it. When you're in that doctor room alone, you have no idea what this doctor has gone through previous days before that. And like I feel like the doctors grew like a hard shell, so sometimes when patients come in and they're like rude or like feisty or whatever, like they are not taking that, bro. They will not be taking that. So there was no taking that. But overall, like even if they didn't speak to me, it was really interesting. I found it super interesting. I don't think I learned anything new. I wish I'd asked more questions. I wish I'd tried to ask questions. But like I said, the doctors were a little bit intimidating, a little bit scary, and I am an introvert. So it doesn't work really well. It doesn't combine really well. But I knew most of the terms I was hearing them say. I wanted to understand like why they say, oh, E5 or D56 in like while they're checking the teeth in their mouth. I wish I asked that. I could just search it up. It's okay. But yeah, day 3. we had pharmacy. I had pharmacy. So one of the general nurses took me to the pharmacy lab or the pharmacy the pharmacy, and there was two really nice guys there who worked there. They taught me a bunch. They actually really explained well. I was able to do some research on their laptop. I think they didn't know what to do with me, but like they let me organize their medicine cabinets and like where they keep each thing. They helped me understand how they organize it based on their generic name and their brand name. And then they also explained to me like the different fields of pharmacology and like salary wise and just everything. And not that I want to become a pharmacist or what's it called, one of those, not that I want to become that, but it was super interesting and I was able to learn a bunch. I think I still remember it. Taught me about pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinesis, and I felt extremely like it felt easy to ask them questions because they had initiated the conversation, which is what, I wish they had done more. And this was like one of the cons about the general hospital. I feel like the doctors didn't really know what to do with me, and also like I don't know. I just feel like maybe they like just explaining more to open up the shells of the students, because there's so many examples of people in this hospital who actually opened up enough so that I could open up. But that's also one of my cons. I just don't ask questions that much, and it's so bad because I know I have questions, I know I have something to say, but I won't say it. So this kind of gave me that real life experience on why I need to open my mouth. You guys really need to ask questions. I don't ask questions in school. I mean, I do pretty decent as an average student, but I don't ask questions in school, and it kind of shows on my report cards. Like teachers are like, oh, I wish we get to know her more. I wish we learned more about Michelle, Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I organized their medicine cabinets by color. They didn't ask me to do that. I just did what I wanted. Period. I just did what I wanted. Day 4, there was radiology and ultrasound and mammogram. Now this one was by far, up to this day, one of my favorite internship days. I loved learning about this. I've never heard about it before, but it's very close, very somewhat similar to what I plan to do. Not very close, actually. Not very close. It's there's something about it that felt like it was supposed to be me doing it, like it felt right. So there was this lady who was there. She was a radiographer. Her name was Cecilia. She was super sweet. She was like a mama bird. She was like a mama bird. She was so cute. She was so sweet, and she was so nice, and she was young too. Like, dang, girl, when'd you get your master's? Tell me, because I'm trying to make money urgently. It's actually that bad. I'm trying to be rich. So when I was hearing her talk about this, I was like, wow. And she never, bro, I grew up in a family where my mom is low-key a D1 talker, and that's not bad, I actually enjoy listening to people talk. The less I speak, the more you speak. It's better. I love listening to people talk. So she was just like talking and explaining. I thought it would be awkward. I thought it would really be awkward, but she was super nice. She told me about like the MRI, PET scan, CT scan machines, how they play a role in the radiology or like ultrasound mammography or whatever. These types of scans, what they mean, why they're so rare in African countries, because of how, first of all, how demanding the resources to even build this machine are and to even maintain it. We don't even have enough biomedical engineers to keep coming in who actually understand how to fix this thing, and the government doesn't have enough money to take care of it. So that's why there's only a few. She told me that there is a certain place, I can't remember the name, there's a certain place in Kenya where they do these kinds of scans specifically. Like doctors literally take their patients there or take their details there and do the scans there before going back to their hospital to, you know, where the radiologist actually writes down what's, you know. But basically, she had her own little device. She didn't tell me exactly what it was, but she explained a ton of stuff that was very close to what I learned in AP Bio and physics and chemistry, and like the cathodes and anodes and how electrons play a role in the scanning process, why they scan, what's used to scan. There's a, what is it called? I really transvaginal, a transvaginal like a, I don't know, it's like a stick, a medical device that has like a camera piece on top, and like you know, you put it in and you scan the inside and you figure out like what's happening here, what does the radiologist need to type, and from there onwards you go to wherever you need help or all of that. Yeah. Day 5, I was working at the nurse station with 2 of the really nice nurses. They were really quiet though, but there was Dorian and Felice, and this is the first day I actually got to do something. I don't know if this was their plan or not, but Felice let me wrap a patient's stitches. That was really cool. The patient asked me a ton of questions. This was one of those talkative patients, but they were really nice at the end of the day. I learned a bit about how they check the vitals with their machines, why they check it, where that information goes, and this takes me to day 6. So on day 6, I was with a general practitioner, and with the general practitioner, I was told what he does. I was told that it's basically an incomplete version of medical school that led him to this point, and if his plan later on is to go back to school so he can specialize and become like an actual doctor, family practitioner, family physician, and all of that. And he asked me a bunch of questions about myself, just because I guess we had already covered everything about his career, so he wanted to know like why I'm here. That was really interesting. I got to answer some of those questions. That was good. He was able to tell me that bioinformatics isn't directly linked to hospitals, which is what I initially thought. So it seems I haven't done enough research on my future career. But yeah, that's basically what we did there. Then we went to the front desk where there was this really nice lady, Rose, and this is still on day 6. She told me what they do. They're not really doctors. They're just the people who sit at the reception and at the front desk, help with checking how much money the hospital has made in the day, what patients need to go where, what appointments are up, what doctors can take those appointments, when the doctors are available or if the doctors are available, how much each appointment is, and how much of one's insurance package can it cover for costs. And it goes all into one system in the hospital. And that was interesting to learn, that was interesting to understand. So pretty much that was it actually. I don't know if it's like okay for me to say all their names, but the general practitioner or the GP who was telling me and asking me questions about my future career choices was Dr. Hillary. The lady at the front desk was teaching me was Rose. And the 2 nurses who were helping me on day 5 were Dorian and Felice. Cecilia was the radiology, mammology, and ultrasound lady. She does all that, like girl power, wait. Pharmacy was 2 guys who I don't remember their names. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I didn't catch their names. Day 2 was dental, where there was Dr. Ranjana and other people. And the nurse who spoke to me in the dental office was Felice. Then there was Sarah and another girl who I can't remember her name. But I'm so thankful and grateful that they even allowed me to do this internship in the first place. I felt like I was being kind of like inconsiderate when I was stressed out about why they're not speaking to me and why they're not giving me more to do, because I feel like I could have personally added on to that experience, and I definitely will do that if I plan to do another internship this summer. I might not though. I have my SAT. I have my SAT, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was a fun experience overall, and I feel like there's just so many things that go into like doing an internship and doing all these things. And sometimes you kind of just have to have patience. I guess the hospital was extremely busy. Like, we have an actual hospital. It's like a small clinic. It's extremely busy. It's kind of where like, obvious people go, where all that type of stuff happens. And yeah, I feel like I'm struggling. So I'd like to give you guys watching my video. I feel like I'm going to go much into depth because looking at my phone storage sucks. Like, my storage on my phone is literally depleting my second right now. So I'm trying to speed things up, and there's no class coming. So I need to go. But maybe later I can add clips. I don't know if I'm not clips. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I think the next video I'm finally going to talk about a few of my stats, my extracurriculars, what I'm going to do in the future, maybe universities, and what we're going to do together. Because like generally, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like so scared. I think that's the thing that space. And so I'm just kind of hoping that maybe next time and honestly, it's low-key best policy. Yeah, just think about that. Honestly, it's low-key best policy. It's not about being honest. It's about being honest with yourself and why you're doing this, why you want to do it. Is it money? Is it because you particularly enjoy the subject? Is it because you want to live in a certain place that offers better resources for the topic? Is it, I don't know, just why are you choosing your major? Why do you want to go to university? Is it worth it? You know. But yeah, that's it for my little TED talk. My face is really oily. And it's super cold here. So, I'm gonna go and do my coding homework and hopefully try to pretend I did at least half of it. And he doesn't ask me any questions, but yeah, we're done. I don't like saying bye, it's so hard.